Thank God. 17 Sundays in Hell, week number 3. Your Cleveland Browns 29 over the Pittsburgh Steelers 17. My picks, along with your Cleveland Browns, are 2-1 on the season. Before we break down this game, let's talk about a few things. Starting with Jacoby Brissett, a rough week 1, an emotional week 1 for Jacoby Brissett, as we learned afterwards. A very good game in week 2, but a very tough loss totally gets overshadowed. Week 3 and a win. You can now fully appreciate what Jacoby Brissett has done these last 2 weeks. You brought him in to get you to Deshaun Watson, however long his suspension was going to be. Jacoby, big frame guy, smart, in command, just really, really efficient. Doesn't necessarily take a ton of risks, but takes care of the ball. And that's exactly what he's done these first 3 weeks of the season. He's completing a high percentage of his passes. He's thrown touchdowns. He's spread the wealth. He hands it off to Chubb. He hands it off to Hunt. Jacoby Brissett deserves a ton of recognition through these first 3 weeks. Going along with him, Amari Cooper. He looks like more and more of a steal as the weeks go on. A 5th-round pick or whatever we sent for him. An incredible steal. He now, even though he had 2 drops tonight, back-to-back 100-yard games with a touchdown, despite those 2 drops. And even when he's not getting the ball, he's drawing a ton of attention to himself. Huge night for Amari Cooper, looking for more big things from him. David Njoku. I had high expectations for him. I was very high on him coming into this season. So were the Cleveland Browns. Very quiet through the first 2 weeks. But against the Steelers, he was big time. 8 receptions at one point on 8 targets, had a touchdown. Big night for the Chief. Hopefully can keep that momentum going. The end of the game. It got scary. I'm not going to lie. I was scared. It was deja vu. I was terrified. Luckily, the Browns closed it out. But let's start in quarter number 1 here. It started off as kind of a snooze fest, punting back and forth. The Steelers start to go on a little bit of a drive. They miss a 50-yard field goal. The Browns take the ball back. They convert on 4th and 1. Chubb with a 36-yard run, and that sets up an Amari Cooper touchdown. 7-0 Cleveland early after 1 with Pittsburgh driving. To start off the second quarter, Pittsburgh, 1st and goal, Najee Harris touchdown. We're all tied up at 7. Cleveland then answers with a 12-play, 79-yard drive that takes up 6 minutes. Jacoby Brissett keeping the Browns ahead of the chains, ahead of schedule, efficient, spreading the wealth. David Njoku gets his touchdown, and then a Cade York missed kick, 13-7 Cleveland. Pittsburgh now goes tempo, and that bothered the Browns when Pittsburgh was able to get some first downs, stay ahead of the chains, complete passes, and they went with tempo. That really bothered the Cleveland Browns tonight. Pittsburgh goes on a 10-play touchdown drive, 14-13 Pittsburgh at the half. The Browns were driving in their 4-minute offense. Cooper with one of those drops on 4th and 2 stalled that drive. Pittsburgh didn't do anything. 14-13 Pittsburgh at the half. Quarter number 3, Pittsburgh punts as they come out. Cleveland goes on a long drive, only able to add 34 yards for Cade York. Cleveland back on top, 16-14. Pittsburgh with another punt. At one point tonight, they had 3 straight 3-and-outs. That Browns defense really stepped up in the second half. Cleveland driving to end the third quarter on a crucial drive to try to extend this lead. Quarter number 4, get those 4s up, winning time for your Cleveland Browns. Stefanski dials up a beautifully designed 3rd and 1 boot play. Cooper loses his man, gives a little bit of this, a little bit of that, loses his man in the back end. Big gainer for Cooper. Then we get some Chubb and Hunt action. I'm talking chunt. Then Jacoby Brissett sneaks another first down. He's so good at that. Learned from the best in Tom Brady. He's getting the crowd fired up. He's fist pumping. A lot of emotion tonight from Jacoby Brissett. Love to see that. And then on 4th and goal from the 1, give it to old reliable Nick Chubb over the top. Browns add 7 more. At this point, they are up 23-14. Now let's talk about the end of the game. This is where it got scary. Again, I almost turned into this guy. Fryermuth, who I completely forgot was on the team or was even active tonight, because I don't think he had one target until the fourth quarter. Then all of a sudden Pittsburgh starts. Trubisky looks like, he's peak Tom Brady and just like sneaking balls behind guys' ears and completing all these passes. So Pittsburgh's driving. Their drive stalls out. Then on their field goal attempt, luckily it was 4th and 6 and they weren't able to get a first down. Cleveland has 12 guys on the field. What the fuck? I mean, what are we doing? Pittsburgh has to kick again. They make it. It's 23-17 Cleveland. Then the onside kick. These guys, luckily, I believe it was Donovan Peoples-Jones, deflected on him, went out of bounds. Luckily, Cleveland gets the ball. They hold on to it till 9 seconds. They pin him deep on a punt, and then backwards lateral, Denzel Ward falls on it in the end zone. And depending on what kind of degenerate gambler you are, you either won or lost your bet, and that's a bad beat. But luckily, the Browns survived the end of this game. They got 10 days off. They'll play Sunday at Atlanta, and we'll talk to you after that win.